It's so cute. Hi
everyone, today we're going to be unboxing the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. Now, I am late to the party. I've watched a hell of a lot of reviews, but I've been holding off on this for a very specific reason. Basically, I'm going to be using this for a very specific reason. So let's jump into why I finally bit the bullet. The Osmo Pocket 3 lived in my head rent-free for almost a year. I couldn't stop watching reviews, yet also couldn't find myself buying it. Well, I finally got it. I'll explain why. And I also need to explain why I stayed away from the creator combo. Let's dive into the juicy bit first. Why I eventually clicked on the Osmo Pocket 3. The main deal breaker was the fixed aperture. And honestly, I'm still not terribly happy about it. You might be thinking, is the lack of a variable lens aperture really that big of a deal? Because we know, and I certainly know after watching like 50 plus reviews, that the image quality is exceptional for such a small camera, thanks to its 1-inch CMOS sensor, which is roughly 4 times the size of a 1/2.3-inch sensor from the original Osmo. Just incredible how quickly technology has improved in this lineup. You then got that magical, mechanical 3-axis gimbal to keep your footage very stable. Again, all in a tight little package. You've got that cool flippy screen that gives you a surprisingly good amount of screen real estate to compose your shots. And you've got a very effective AI face tracking that essentially means you can walk and vlog without needing to worry about how you're holding the Osmo. Very useful for walk and talk videos. All up, DJI smashed it out of the park with the Osmo Pocket 3, and almost everyone's raving about it. But for me, that fixed aperture was painful. I wanted to get the Pocket 3 to shoot cinematic walking videos. I run a channel dedicated to this. The goal is to showcase places around the world in lovely 24 or 25p with that lovely cinematic motion blur, which meant shooting at around 1/50th of a second shutter speed. And often my walks are long, very long, 1 to 2 hours or even more, all shot in a single take to give that uninterrupted experience. So far, all these videos have been shot on a full frame Sony mirrorless camera on a gimbal. Typically a 1635 or 24G master lens on an A7C Mark II or a ZVE1, stabilized by a Zhiyun Crane M3 gimbal, which is considered the best light gimbal for full frame cameras. The footage from the Sony is terrific, there's no doubt, but there are a lot of downsides to using this sort of kit for walking videos. It's heavy for the long amount of time that I'm walking. It attracts a lot of attention, people looking at you, changing their behavior. Not ideal when trying to show off a destination in a natural way. And it's especially bad when it attracts the attention of people who will go out of their way to talk to you when you're filming, sometimes asking you why you are filming. Finally, to prevent wobbly footage, I gotta do a semi-ninja walk because the Crane M3 is really designed for very light full frame setups at most, and often I'm pushing it with my camera lens setups. With all that said, I need to stress one big advantage of this Sony gimbal setup, which is that I get a lot of flexibility to adjust my exposure as the lighting changes throughout my very long walks. Even though the shutter speed is fixed at 1/50th of a second, I've got a variable aperture on the lens. I've got a variable ND in front of the lens, usually a 2 to 5 stop. And I've got auto ISO on. So that's 3 degrees of freedom to soak up the changes in lighting. And this pretty much means that I can move from sunny outdoors into say a dark shop without interrupting my recording. No dramas. And that's just not the case with the Osmo Pocket 3. I don't have variable aperture on the Pocket 3 because it's fixed. There are variable NDs out there, but they're just not good enough from the reviews that I've seen. And again, I've watched a lot of reviews. The only saving grace is the Pocket 3's auto ISO. And I gotta say, the Osmo 3 makes pretty clean footage between 50 to 1600 ISO, despite its 1-inch sensor being around 1/6 the size of a full-frame camera. But still, I've been spoiled by said full-frame cameras. So all up, for the kind of walking videos I'm used to making with the Sony on the Crane M3, the Osmo Pocket 3 just doesn't give me the flexibility I need to replicate that experience. If the Pocket 4 comes out guns blazing with a variable aperture, you can bet I'll be the first in line to grab one, because so far the Pocket 3 has really impressed me with what it can do, and it's growing fast on me. So that leads me into why I ended up buying one, despite all the reservations that I just mentioned. Reason number 1, weight and size. Don't underestimate these things for everyday shooting. Soon, I'm going to be traveling to Hong Kong, Shenzhen, Macau, visiting many places in quick succession, and I want to make a lot of walking videos. And I just can't do that with my heavy gimbal setup every single day. Your arms, hands, fingers, they get sore and they need time to recover. I learnt this the hard way recently on a trip to Beijing. Reason number 2, conspicuousness. Mirrorless cameras on gimbals attract attention and it gets annoying. But no one gives a crap when I'm wandering around with a Pocket 3. The more walking videos I shoot, the more I've realized how important it is to be inconspicuous. It just makes everything easier and more enjoyable too. In fact, I've been enjoying the Pocket 3 so much that I began doing more everyday vlog stuff. It's just so refreshing to be able to stick a camera into my pockets, shoot without fuss, whenever, wherever, and not attract much attention. It really is that great. My final reason number 3, is a more personal one. You see, I started a walking channel to create memories of the places I visited in extreme detail, because well, sometimes I think back on old trips and reminisce about the streets that I've wandered, the places I've visited, and realize, hey, at the time I took a few crappy photos and that was it. But shooting my walking videos with that 24 or 25p cinematic aesthetic actually kind of detracts from that vision to an extent. Cinema isn't realistic. Our brains end up interpolating missing information between frames it expects to see, which is actually part of the cinematic appeal. It's surreal in its own way. So now I want to start experimenting with shooting 4K 60p videos, not for slow-mo or anything like that. I mean actually exporting in 60 frames a second. This means the footage no longer looks cinematic at all. Heck, it looks the opposite of cinematic. Just watch Gemini Man with Will Smith and you'll know what I mean. But the footage looks hyper-realistic, if you can call it that, which is more faithful to my original reason for making walking videos. 60 FPS also partially resolves my problem with those lack of good ND filters, variable NDs, because the footage is way more forgiving of high shutter speeds compared to 24 or 25 frames per second, where high shutter speeds make the footage really quite jarring in my opinion and honestly quite difficult to watch, unless it's purposefully done, such as in action scenes or martial arts fights in feature films. So in summary, I am fashionably late to the Osmo Pocket 3 party, but the combination of number 1, small and light, number 2, inconspicuousness, and number 3, an evolving personal style finally sealed the deal on this Pocket Rocket for me. Now, onto my second question of why I didn't get the creator combo. Well, after doing a bunch of research, I realized the only thing I wanted out of the combo pack was that extended battery grip. So I ended up just buying that separately. Everything else included I didn't need because there were better alternatives in my opinion. For example, the DJI Mic that's included in the creator combo. I didn't want that because I got the full DJI Mic 2 kit with 2 transmitters, a receiver, and the case. I'll be posting a separate video on that. The combo also gives you a carrying pouch, but to be frank, I'm not terribly impressed with the DJI case. I don't think I'd be using it much. Some other bits and bobs, like the mini tripod, I bought alternatives from third parties such as Ulanzi. I'll be doing a separate video on all those accessories too. So, to wrap up, I bought just the standalone Osmo Pocket 3. I got the battery grip. I got a lot of accessories, some of which I'm still waiting on. I've already shot hours of footage on the Pocket 3 and really I'm having tons of fun on it, way more fun than I expected to, which kind of makes me regret sitting on my hand on this one for as long as I did. I should have bought the Osmo Pocket 3 months ago, and I'm glad I finally did.
What's that?
Hey, it's the new Osmo Pocket 3.
It's so cute.
It is, right?
Oh my gosh.
Want to take a look?
Meow.
Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed my look at the Osmo Pocket 3. Let me know what you think of the Pocket 3 in the comments down below. Do you own one? Are you holding back on one? Are you excited about it? Do you want one? You're just watching unboxing videos to take you over the line? Let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.